Okay, my name is Rachel Christ, and I am a jewelry designer here in the Cayman Islands. Probably about 15, 20 years ago, I was traveling a lot in Southeast Asia, and I walked by a school, a silversmithing school. And I was always buying jewelry when I was traveling, and then it hit me that, oh, I could actually make my own jewelry. And that's what really got me started, was the idea of being able to make my own creations, and then eventually that led to selling them. It was a slow journey. When I went to the silversmithing school for 2 sessions. So I went over to Thailand, and I was there for 3 months, and I took like 1 semester, and then the next year I went back and I took a 2nd semester. When I came back here, I set up my studio in my house, and I didn't realize how much I was relying on my instructor in Thailand until I started trying to do things myself, and then the pile of stuff that I actually finished that looked halfway decent was here, and then the pile of my mistakes was over here. So it took a really long time, I would say probably about like 8 months, before I actually got into the groove and understood working with silver and everything that it entailed. Okay, so I registered my silver thatch cuff a couple years ago, well now probably about 5 years ago. I learned how to plait from Miss Lizzie Powell in West Bay. I think she's the best, one of the best Cayman platters here on the island, and I was intrigued with trying to keep that tradition alive. Most of the platters that we see now are all in their 80s, 70s or 80s, and there's not a lot of young people who are interested in learning the craft and taking part in it. So when she was teaching me how to do it, and I mean, she taught me from going into the bush, finding the palm tree, finding the top, cutting the top, tying the top, drying the top, everything. I mean, she said if I wanted to learn, I had to learn the whole process, which I wanted to learn. I wanted to understand it. And I found too, like with silversmithing, like people think it's such an easy process, but when you learn the process from just a sheet of silver all the way to a ring, it's quite complicated. And that was the same thing with the plaiting. And so then I was just plaiting and making, basically I would just plait and give her what I plaited to make bags into. And then I came up with this idea to do a cuff, because it would be more relevant for, say, a younger generation. They could see that the silver thatch plaiting could be used in a contemporary way and could be used in a fashionable way, and then they could wear it. And then hopefully that would help keep plaiting alive here in the Cayman Islands. When I first brought it back, Natalie at the National Gallery was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I was put into an exhibition there. And then just the feedback I was getting from people walking around the gallery and listening to things, and then walking around, you just could hear people saying, commenting on it. And then I thought to myself, it took me a long time to get to this point. I don't want someone else then to just say, oh, I can do that, and just copy it and then take off with it, where, you know, just steal my whole entire journey of coming up with this product. I've had instances in the past where people have copied how I display things, how I put things together. This didn't happen in the beginning when I first started doing jewelry design here, probably like about 15, 20 years ago. Everyone respected each other. And if you were doing one thing, if you were working in Caymanite, nobody else was working in Caymanite. And if you were doing this, nobody else would do it. And then it got to a point about 10 years ago when all of a sudden you would do a show and someone would be displaying their work exactly how you were displaying it. Or they would be doing their necklaces exactly how you were. So it's just something, I guess, that has become more relevant as the years go by. I would say you have to be committed to it, because it's a long process. It also costs money, and so you just have to be committed to it. You have to be committed to your product, committed to the fact that, I guess you have to decide if it really can be replicated, and then you just, yeah, I mean, it's just a feeling you get. It's something in your heart. Like, I wanted to protect my silver thatch cuff because I love the silver thatch. I love the culture of the Cayman Islands, and I think the two just went well together, and I just didn't want someone else to benefit off my creation and the time it took me to get there.